Alrighty guys, as the key ring is another Dragon Ball Legends discussion video. So today we're going to be taking a look. This is basically my review on the Zenkai Vegeta, and you can see right here I don't even have him Zenkai'd, but I've seen enough. Honestly, I have definitely seen enough, and I want to go ahead and open up this discussion to you guys. So first of all, let's go ahead and honestly I want to talk about the event. Right? Honestly, I do want to talk about the event. You can see right here that my Vegeta is on the cusp of 7 stars to get to that Zenkai rank, and you can even see I have the option to use multi-Z power on him, right? If I wanted to right now, I could actually go ahead and pop this bad boy, give him the 600, and start working on his Zenkai immediately. When we look at his event, right, it's just a battle gauntlet. That's pretty much all we got. When we look at the missions and stuff like that, we do not have any indicator that we're getting Z power for this man, right? It's the only Z power that we're getting is the Zenkai power, which is kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's a little disappointing because we look back at the Super Vegeta event, right? When we got the Super, and I know this is special, this is different, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make there's a big difference between this Vegeta releasing and the Super Vegeta releasing with their Zenkais, right? Specifically with their Zenkais, because Super Vegeta came out during a time of the Legends Festival where it's going to be more of a special event, more of a significant event, right? And they emphasized that fact, they capitalized off of that fact by giving us 1800 Z power for this guy. They gave us 1800, and so I wasn't expecting 1800, but I was expecting a little bit, right? I was expecting a little bit. I was even expecting like 400 or 500, right? Because if they were to give us even 400 or 500, I could have been like, okay, well, I don't have the full 600 to put Z power into him. I could go ahead and just save up my Legends weekend medals. That way I can go ahead and build them up slowly but surely with the multi-Z power 100 that they can offer us here, right? I thought they were going to give us a little bit of leeway on this, but that does not seem to be the case, right? So off rip, I was already kind of like, okay, well, this kind of feels a little bit cheesy. It kind of feels a little bit corny. I feel like they didn't I'm not saying that they had to reward us for every single time something comes out, but I feel like we were just in that, like, we have had events for other units already, other LF units, where they gifted us Z power from it, right? And so that's what I kind of wanted to follow that trend. I wanted that to be the norm, right? With Super Saiyan 3 Goku, when he got his event, the LF one, the green one, we got Z power from him, right? Just a little bit. And then for Goten as well, if I remember correctly, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But Goten also gave us some free Z power for him, and then for the Gohan as well, and then obviously Super Vegeta. So when this guy got his Zenkai, when no Z power followed suit, like it just made me, I was just like, okay, well that kind of sucks. But when I found out about that, I kind of figured they didn't want to give us Z power, maybe because this guy was going to be so damn good, right? So now let's go ahead and talk about the actual unit itself. We can go ahead and display his maximum stats, add Zenkai 7 and stuff like that, right? Here are the full stats. Right, and obviously the Zenkai stats are going to be good right here, right? You have them on the Future Trunks Saga, so I want to go ahead and go buy this, like break it down a little bit. Let's talk about his tags, like what's going to be his best teams. So Saiyans, I don't think he's going to be the best on Saiyans, right? You have Gogeta 4 on there. Gogeta 4 is just absolutely untouchable right now. You have Vegeta Clan 100%. He is going to be your main green unit on Vegeta Clan. There's not really much competition on that aspect. So there you go. There's one team out of the 5 tags that he has that he's guaranteed to be on. God Key. Now, so God Key is a special one, right? Because God Key is right. That's where a lot of people played him when he first came out. If you remember when he came out, in 2019 for Black Friday. We were still kind of in the meta of the first anniversary units where you had Super Saiyan Blue Goku, you had Whis, who was still good, the EX Whis, and those units coupled with this guy, even with the Red Rose that he came alongside with, God Key was in an amazing position, man. They were so good, and so I honestly thought he was going to have a really special spot here on God Key, but you also have to take his platinum equipment into consideration, right? Let's actually go ahead and look at his platinum equipment. So we have his platinum equipment pulled up right here, right? So we're talking about God Key, right? He's more so going to be beneficial from this equipment on a God Key team or a Vegeta Clan team, which is good for the Vegeta Clan part, right? It's definitely good for the Vegeta Clan part because you want him to be there. You want him to be included on that team. You're going to be getting the full benefits of this unique equipment because easily the best part about this equipment is slot 3, where you get a pure 8%, that's at max, a pure 8% to strike and blast attack per Vegeta Clan member or per God Key member, right? So let's go back to God Key, and I still do not, well, I have it filtered by God Key and Future, right? That's important. I have it filtered by God Key and Future, but you look at God Key, and even with the Zenkai, even from what I've seen, like I've watched all the showcases, bro. I promise you guys. Maybe not all of them, of course, but I've seen Garesh, I've seen I've seen Virgil, I've seen, I've seen the GOAT, I've seen Ryuden, I've seen other streamers as well using this guy, like Battlemore, all that stuff, and it's just like, he is just not doing it for me. He's just not doing, and that's not to say, I'm not saying he's bad, right? I want to go ahead and throw that out there. He's not bad. If you were to tell me to rank him right now on a tier list, like if you were to give me his little icon, tell me, okay, pin this unit on the Game Press tier list right now. And I know a lot of you guys don't really agree with the Game Press tier list, but just for the hypothetical, I would probably put him low S tier. And that's not a bad spot. That's not a bad spot at all, but I was just expecting a lot more. So going back to the God Key argument, your main green is still going to be this guy. This guy's still the best green on God Key, right? And then it sucks too, because the thing about this unit, right, you go down into his tags, and what tags is he buffing? What tags you immediately see is God Key and Future, right? So that's why I have both of these tags filtered out right here, God Key and Future, because now we look at Vegeta, and we're once again going back to what are his best teams. So we've ruled out that he's not really going to be amazing on Saiyans, right? We've ruled out that he is going to be the best on, or he's going to be the best green on Vegeta Clan. God Key is not going to be the best green. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, I don't even know why I said 5. There's only 4 tags right here, right? The Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan isn't a legitimate team. But so now we go to Future. So personally, I think Future is his best team, and that's not necessarily the best thing, right? I think Future is going to be his best team right here, but you're not going to be getting the full benefits of that platinum equip that we were talking about earlier, right? Just because that platinum equip is going to, it's basically going to reward you for running him alongside Vegeta Clan, for running him alongside God Key, right? But not Future. Anywhere does it say Future, because it was one of those things where this unit did not get the Future tag until later on, right? It was like a small little buff that he got, right? If you remember correctly, this was basically exited. Future wasn't a part of his tags at all, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so now going back to Future, how Future is probably his best team, just because you have like units like Future Gohan on it, you have Trunks, right? You have the Sword of Hope Trunks, you have the Zamasu, of course, but it's like he's a green unit, right? He's a green. But you look at, once again, he's going head to head with this guy for a spot on Future as well. And this guy, I just feel like he's better. Because for me, this guy is mid to high S tier, and the Vegeta is low S tier. That's just personally how I feel. I really expected a lot more, and I think the root of my disappointment here is that when he came out, you have to remember, when this unit had first came out on, I believe it was the second Black Friday, after the first anniversary, right, we were in a meta in which you could not double cover change, and there was tackles. Right, it was like, if I remember correctly, it was even during a time where if you got your rush guessed by your opponent, your opponent would get a free combo. That's how long ago it was, right? It was a whole different ball game. I don't even think 14 stars were introduced at that point, right? I don't think 14 stars were a thing, red stars in general, right? And he was just so impactful for that, because if you keep in mind, when you couldn't double cover change, right? Say you're getting the absolute crud getting kicked out of you by one unit. If you swap out, if you do a cover change, you weren't able to do another cover change on top of that cover change, right? And so that's where this guy would come in, and he would essentially just clean a house. Like he would be so good, right? Because imagine if you force your opponent into a situation where they had to cover with a blue unit, then this guy comes in, he can get his entire ultimate off, pop the main ability, get double card draw speed, get as many cards as he possibly can off leading up to the ultimate, and you couldn't do anything about it. You straight up could not do anything about it. And so I really wanted to see some more tweaks to his kit for this day and age, to where, maybe he didn't have to be broken either, but he just needed some tweaks. Like, I feel like they just added some stuff here that it was just like, oh, I'm at the top. We don't care about TOP stats for this guy right now. But I just feel like, I feel like they could have given him something for, I know a lot of people have said that he should have been able to nullify cover change, right? Because even though he can get this massive combo off, you have so many units in today's day and age where you have cover changes, you have universal cover changes, right? Because not only do you have Strike and Blast cover changes, you have cover changes like Gogeta 4's cover change, you have units that can break cards, you have units that can take away your key, you have, like, there's just so much. There's just so much. And so it feels like, like I said before, I don't want him to necessarily be absolutely broken, but a part of me almost felt like he should have just locked in. Like, once he popped that main ability, I feel like he should have just locked in. truthfully. Either that, if you didn't want to go that way, because I know lock-in is absolutely broken and you guys don't want to have another Ultra Gogeta situation, it was either that or make him just nullify the cover changes, right? Make him nullify the cover change. Obviously, breaking cards is still going to hurt him really badly, but at least something like that, because we can go to his kit. I mean, it's all right. So 20% to damage against, well, these just slightly got altered, I guess, right? Just very, very slightly. These are standard ones, and this is what he got as well. So he applies the following effects to enemy when this character lands a strike or blast arts. He reduces ki by 15, applies a debuff minus 75% to ki recovery. Okay, I mean that, I guess. And then the last unique, he applies the following effects itself when battle starts: 35% to strike damage inflicted, and reduces damage received by 20%. And that's fine. He's tanky, right? I'm not gonna lie, he's tanky. And then they did upgrade this one right here, where he nullifies his own unfavorable element factors for 3 timer counts after his as long as your ally takes a hit, right? Another battle member has to get hit with a strike or a blast heart. But 3 timer counts is not a lot. It's not a lot, man. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. It's like what? Like it's like 1 card almost. Right, it's like 1 card before you just go back to just getting clapped by mono purple. And I guess they also changed the green card here, right? He draws a strike card on it alongside the hill. It's just, he just feels, he could have been so much better, man. He could have been so much better, and we needed him to be good. Like, I'm gonna be real honest with you guys, we needed him to be good just because of the meta that we live in, right? Because if it's of Ultra Gogeta, that's what I really thought. Because I've said this before, like on 5-9 Gaming's podcast, but back in the day when second anniversary had first dropped, and we saw Vegito Blue everywhere, this guy was my answer, right? I had this guy, and he was basically the only thing keeping my sanity intact, bro. The only thing keeping my sanity intact. And you know, he was so good, right? He was so good. He aged pretty well, I would say, too. Like, he lasted a good amount of time right there. But once the double cover change came in and stuff like that, you definitely started to see him fall off, right? Because obviously you're just going to be cover changing over and over and over, right? As much as you possibly can to make sure that he doesn't get that full ramp up on just 1 unit, right? That's why. And so he had to change with the meta. Like, they had to have changed him with the meta in order to, like, make him succeed. You have units like Super Vegeta where they gave him almost like a really good rework, and that's why he, in my opinion, is a Z tier unit right now, right? Like, right now, I could call Super Vegeta a Z tier unit, and I think a lot of people would probably agree. I know a lot of people would also probably just say he's S tier, and that's a fair argument too, but I think a lot of people would agree that he's Z tier. Well, this guy, he really could have changed the meta. He could have changed the game for us, bro. He could have freed us from the shackles of Ultra Gogeta, and I think that's what I'm most hurt about. It's more so, like, I know I'm coming off a little bit whiny here, but that's just mostly what I just wanted to go ahead and voice out, is just that they held back on this man, and I'm not a big fan of it. I really wish they would have went a little bit all out, especially for Zenkai units, right? For Zenkai, not just Zenkai units, for Zenkai applicable Legends limited units, right? Because we look at all the Legends limited units right here, and I mean, obviously, easily the worst one is Beerus, right? Out of this group right here, the worst one is definitely Beerus, but everyone else, I guess maybe minus Goten. I think Goten, he was pretty, like, one-dimensional, right? Hybrids was just absolutely stacked. I would probably say he got treated the same way as Goten, but it wasn't justifiable, because at least with Goten, it was justifiable because we had just got Revival Gohan, and no one wanted to see hybrids, bruh. No one wanted to see hybrids succeed. So that was fair that that Goten wasn't broken, right? It was fair that he wasn't broken. Frieza, I think he's in a great spot. I think he's very, very balanced. I think what they did with Frieza is very good, right? But Vegeta, bro, I feel like he deserved to be just a little bit broken, but maybe they were scared of the future buffs and stuff like that. So that being said, I think I've rambled on enough right here. That's gonna be my review right here. It's just ultimately I'm disappointed. I'm ultimately disappointed. I will put him still at a low S tier spot, which is not a bad spot at all, right? It's just more so the looming threats of Ultra Gogeta that's still going to be hanging over our heads for a good amount of time until we get some other meta breaking unit or something that can definitely counter him, right? So let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys not agree with me? Do you guys think he's actually really good, or do you guys think that this was a balanced Zenkai, LF Zenkai that was just necessary, that you didn't want him to be broken, you didn't want him to be bad or anything like that. I feel like he deserved a little bit more. So once again, like I said before, discuss in the comments down below. And if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to drop a like and maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!